Coach, where's the men's room?
Yeah.
I'm not your coach. He survived.
Wait, Coach, let me get something straight. What's our curfew around here?
Will you get out of here? Go on, get downstairs. Men's room, are you kidding?
Welcome, Gothamites, to Geek Salad, episode 171, The Green Bonham-Carter Chronicles. I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
I'm Katherine.
And today we are talking about the rise and plateau
Yes.
of the films.
An expected rise with
And
the release of
then
Dumbo.
Fall, then rise, then fall,
Fall
then
again.
rise, then fall. And,
of one Mr. Tim Burton.
yeah, he's had more ups and downs than two kangaroos in a mating season.
Ooh.
Wow.
Wow. That's kind of dirty, Mike. Get out of my house, you filth. So yes, actually, I was thinking about this today. This year, we have actually talked a lot about Tim Burton movies.
Yeah.
Kind of inadvertently. And this is like our last regular show. It's because we have our Christmas episode coming up later on this month. This is our last regular show of 2018. And we have, between the podcast and between the YouTube channel, we have reviewed Batman. We've reviewed Beetlejuice. We've talked about Beetlejuice. We've talked about Batman. We've talked about Danny Elfman's scores. So
We reviewed Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas. There was a lot of Tim Burton tinging this awful long, when will it end year.
And there is no other director that is so defined by a genre.
Right, exactly.
Who defines a genre.
And
like
maybe
Burton.
a director who I think is insanely divisive to a lot of people.
He doesn't really define a genre as much as a style.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
Striped
Right.
snakes and columns and tentacles and whatnot.
Well, just that
And we're
kind
not
of,
talking about hentai.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Yeah, no, we're not talking about that, but it's like I saw something with black and white stripes on some like kind of curly, twisty tentacle thing, and I'm like, is this a Tim Burton movie? What am I watching?
Now, you guys all know that Tim Burton worked for Disney prior to becoming a film director.
Yep.
Yes.
Do you know what his big kind of claim to fame movie was?
I know.
What is it, Mike?
Fox and the Hound.
Oh, my favorite movie.
Yep.
I love Fox and the Hound.
Apparently, he also
I
did
remember
some.
we talked about that earlier this year.
He also did some artwork for Black Cauldron, but it was never used.
Was he an animator or
He was an animator. Yeah, he was
That would explain a lot of his aesthetics then.
right. But he was in the bullpen, so it was just like he was just kind of in that
He
area.
was one of the monkeys at the typewriter.
Exactly. There's not a lot of glory. There's no glory, and it's really like hard slavish work, considering where Disney was at the time.
Well,
Yeah, 1982.
Yeah, exactly. 'Twas not a good year.
Not a good place to be.
But
yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of people who still hold Tim Burton's movies in a high regard. Unfortunately, I don't think people get excited as they used to. Like, I remember saying, "Oh, a Tim Burton movie's coming out. I'll have to see that." And now it's like, okay, well, what's it about? What's it about? All right, maybe I'll watch that. Maybe it'll be good.
And it's kind of funny, like Mike says, he's defined by a style that any other movie that takes that kind of style, you're like, oh, it's a Tim Burton style movie.
Yep.
Like Coraline.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Which, interestingly enough, was directed by Henry Selick, who directed one of these movies on the list.
Yeah.
But it's like the only movie we can't get away with not lumping into this.
Because Tim Burton did everything.
Tim Burton produced a
About-
lot of movies, but we're not discussing Batman Forever. We're not discussing Alice Through the Looking Glass. You know, we are discussing the stuff that he directed, with one glaring exception, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
So let's get started. All right, how many of you guys actually saw 1985's Pee-wee's Big Adventure in the theater?
Oh.
Nope.
No?
No. Nope.
Man, it's going to be one of those things that I'm the only one who's seen half of these in the theater, right?
Yeah.
I haven't even seen it at all.
You've never seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
No.
Really?
Ooh.
Exhibit A, a photograph of the victims. My bike and me. Exhibit B, another photograph.
What's missing from this picture? It's just me, without my bike!
Is this something you could share with the rest of us, Amazing Larry?
Wow.
It's worth
But
a watch.
I was a devoted fan of the Saturday morning television show.
Then you would love the movie. I mean, I was familiar with Pee Wee Herman because he had his HBO special.
Yes.
That was Pee Wee's Playhouse. But it was a lot more grown up. Like, there was this thing with him and Miss Yvonne where he was given, like, mirrored shoes so he could look up her skirt and all that. And there was just a lot of more adult-oriented gags. I mean, the cast of Pee Wee's Playhouse was there, though. Like, Phil Hartman was playing Captain Carl, and, you know, Miss Yvonne was played by Charlie's mom.
So you know, kind of aside, it amazes you how it made the jump from being an adult-oriented HBO show to a Saturday morning.
Well, Paul Rubens was one of the groundlings, so it was like this was just the character he developed. He came up with, which essentially is that 50s kitsch, but, you know, in the body of a man-child. Mm-hmm. And I think, you know, for a debut movie, this is tailor-made for Tim Burton. Yeah. And music-wise, tailor-made for Danny Elfman. This was everything. I think I used the term before, whiz-bang.
Yeah.
It could have been one of those movies where... Yeah, or it could have been one of those things where, he had such a hit with it that... It could have been the thing that he could have been defined by for the rest of his career. Like, it'll never be as good as Pee Wee's Pee
Wee's Big Adventure, exactly. There was so much going on in Pee Wee's Big Adventure, though. And it's one of those movies, if you don't get it, you don't get it.
Yeah. Right.
But when you get it, you just truly, you grab onto it. There's so much to love about that movie. I mean, again, you know, I'm talking about right now, and I've got the Danny Elfman music going through my head.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I've got the dream thing with the devil. Francis is the devil. Oh, now. Bump 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 bump.
The thing I most learned from that movie is that the Alamo does not have a basement.
Right, exactly. It's one of those movies too, infinitely quotable.
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite line is one of the more obscure lines in the entire movie, which is is there something you'd like to share with the rest of us, Amazing Larry? Because primarily, I want to know more about Amazing Larry. Right. Who is this sideshow guy with the mohawk that is essentially made out of like Indian feathers? But it's just such a fun little road movie. There's lots of interesting characters.
Large Marge,
yep.
That scene scared the shit out of everyone that saw it.
Well, that scene also introduced the aesthetic of the Tim Burton's.
Yeah.
They're not great special effects, but they're fun special effects. Right. Because the claymation, the very obvious claymation.
But you don't see it coming though.
Yeah, and then you watch it like for the 80th time. Then you just do like the script, you know, the freeze frame.
Yeah,
and then you can see like, okay, I see it now.
Yeah,
Large Marge. It was on a night just like this.
And of course,
the worst accident I've ever seen. Oh, the tequila scene was iconic. The beauty of that is just when those bikers are threatening to kill him. He's like, I say we kill him. I say we hang him, then we kill him. I say we let him go. There's that great line with Francis when he figures out that Francis, his nemesis stole the bike.
Yeah.
And he goes to the house. He's like, Francis is having his bath. Oh yeah? Where are they hosing him down?
I mean, the great thing about the movie is that it does a great job of taking what would, in normal circumstances, take a completely annoying, grating character and make him into a sympathetic protagonist.
Yeah. I watch a lot of Brad Jones, the cinema snob, and there are a lot of movies he reviews that try to capture that aesthetic of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and they fail horrifically.
Yeah.
This is somebody who has full understanding of his character, finding a director that was like, okay, whatever you want to do, I'm good.
Well, because it's such a whimsical... Pee-wee's world is such a whimsical world that you really need somebody of Tim Burton's imagination to be able to kind of...
Exactly. Everybody in that movie is like, hey, you made me angry, but I like the cut of your jib.
Yeah.
Let's be friends. It's the only reason why he got the movie deal. I still love that they voiced him over, too.
Yep.
It's my big scene. Mr. Herman. Aging Mr. Herman.
Actually, I mean, and this movie made a decent amount. I mean,
in $1985, it made very good money.
Budget of $7 million, it made $40 million.
Yeah, that's
so
huge.
This definitely, I mean, for a first-time director with a character that was primarily seen as a kid's.
But let's be honest, though. This was not sold on the director. This was sold on Pee Wee Herman. Yeah.
Yeah.
However, let's move to the next movie, 1988's Beetlejuice. You did start hearing from the director of Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
My wife and I would like to ask you a couple of questions.
Sure. Go ahead, shoot.
Well, for instance, what are your qualifications?
Well, I attended Juilliard. I'm a graduate of the Harvard Business School. I travel quite extensively. I lived through the Black Plague, and I had a pretty good time during that. I've seen The Exorcist about 167 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it. Not to mention the fact that you're talking to a dead guy. Now, what do you think? You think I'm qualified?
That's what got me into the theater initially. Was that it was, okay, well, this looks cool, and hey, the guy who directed Pee-wee's Big Adventure did it. How bad could it be?
For me, it wasn't. It was, at the time, like, directors are directors. You know, outside of Spielberg and Lucas, I really didn't care.
Right.
So it was like, oh, it's Michael Keaton playing this character.
Right.
That I wanted to see.
I mean, for me, it was I came for Burton and stayed for Keaton.
Yeah.
Because Keaton, we've reviewed this movie.
Yeah.
We've talked about it a lot this year because it was also, this is its 30th anniversary.
Yep.
This is not a whole lot more you can say about this movie. He steals that show.
And again, I think this is the movie that defined the Burton aesthetic.
Absolutely.
This is
absolutely
the most. This is where Burton-esque becomes part of the lexicon.
Right.
Stripy snakes.
Stripy snakes.
Yep. Stripy snakes. Yep.
A lot of claymation.
Yes.
Black and white and goth and twisty and
absurdist humor.
Yes, exactly. Absurdist humor and a very California Art Deco look.
Yeah.
The set design is just something that I remember, especially because, again, 1988 spent that time in California where that's what it looked like. That's what the Deco design looked like.
Yeah.
Which was kind of neat. You know, I love the Escher-esque, stripes and lines and everything. All the halls looked like they were never ending because of the way that they would just run horizontal stripes.
Like you said, you came from the director, you stay for Keaton. I mean, the scene where he's in the waiting room, he looks up, he's got the number, he looks up. Come on!
I mean, for a guy that he's a title character, he's in the movie for less than 20 minutes.
Yeah, a lot of people forget that Winona Ryder's character is actually the main character.
Well, no, the main character is Alec Baldwin and Gene Davis.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
No, this is the...
No, you're right, yeah.
They're the...
The family that moved
in.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to remember what the Alec Baldwin and Gene Davis' character's last name was.
The Maitlands.
That is it, yes.
Yep.
Ozzie and Harriet.
The reason why I remember that because I just remember the flattened guy. Maitland, party at 2. That has to be like...
Are you saying
because he's got the tire tracks on him.
And like I said during our review of this is a brilliantly written movie because they dropped this little clue earlier, like kind of midway through, that if you commit suicide, you're cursed to spend the eternity working as a civil servant.
Right.
And then when you see the afterlife, all the people in that civil service office have committed suicide.
Yeah, they're all having
one of us is hung.
I knew then what I did now, that I wouldn't have had my little accident.
Yeah.
Was she Miss Argentina?
Yes.
Yes. Coach, I don't think we survived that crash.
You think? I'm not your coach. He lived.
All right, and that brings us to another movie we reviewed this year.
Yeah.
1989's Batman.
Your life won't be worth spit. I've been dead once already. It's very liberating. You should think of it as therapy. Jack, listen. Maybe we can cut a deal. Jack is dead, my friend. You can call me Joker.
What else can we say about this one?
Again,
I just feel bad. It's like, we picked this to like cap off the year. It's like, oh shit, we talked about a lot of these movies already.
Yep.
Well, one of the things we did talk about last time was the fact that it's not very Burton-y. He was under studio orders.
I think from a directing standpoint, it's not very Burton-y. From a aesthetic point of view, the way the set designs, the costume designs and stuff like that.
The set design, the very obvious models.
The very look of the movie is Burton-esque.
The Gotham City is very Burton-esque.
Well, actually,
the actual directing
that parade scene. That parade scene is 100% Tim Burton.
Except for the Prince soundtrack.
Well, yes, exactly.
That was forced on him.
As was what happens when we get up the stairs. I don't know. We'll figure that out.
That is one of the most anticlimactic climaxes to any Batman movie ever created.
Yep, just get up to the top of the tower and just you'll fall down. That's all it is.
We'll figure it out.
Plus, what was Batman's kill count in that one?
Oh God,
he was homicidal.
No, actually, it's not as bad as the next Batman movie, but it's I mean, he does pretty much murder that guy by throwing him off the off the bell tower. And then, any of the guys who didn't get out of Access Chemical when the Batmobile. Now, truth be told, he could always just blame the car for that
because he wasn't driving.
Yeah, I guess technically he was. I still remember though, and Joe, you might remember this too, because I remember we had this discussion before. The Batman VHS had the ad for Diet Pepsi.
Yes.
With like the can with the cape on it.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. So yes, I'll set the stage. The Christmas of 1989. The biggest thing on my wish list. There were two video cassettes I wanted: Batman and Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yep.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit took a year to come out on video cassette. Yeah. Batman was going to be
that year.
Came out, and it was like unheard of.
Man, it was unheard of because, and we've talked about this before, because it was cheap. It was under $30 when most VHS at the time were going like for $80, $100.
Right, exactly. I mean, back in the Suncoast days.
Oh yeah.
All right, drink is there was sell through, and then there was price for rental. Mm-hmm. Price for rental was $80 to $100. There we go. Everyone's lick the bottle, Mike. My God.
No, it was like a bunch of.
Oh, okay. You put on rate. I understand that.
He's not dripping on your floor.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you.
Or dripping down my shirt.
Even better. But yeah, no. This movie was like I think $25, and the sleeve. Oh my God, that sleeve just
because it was a textured sleeve.
All it was the bat symbol, and it was close to that.
But it was textured.
Yes,
it was textured.
Yeah, and little rise.
Oh yeah, it was like, this is the stuff right here.
And to my day, to the end of my days, I'll never forget the ads in front of it. There was the Diet Pepsi commercial where Alfred is calling the Gotham convenience store, because apparently there's only one, saying that he wants like a case of Diet Pepsi, just waiting for somebody. Oh, he'll be driving in a car. Oh, you'll know the car. And then after that was a Warner Brothers catalog ad where they had filmed it. They had done the voices, which was Mel Blanc for both the voices, and then Mel Blanc died. Not during recording, but during the pickups. They had to change something in there. So there is one part of it where he does, it's like, here we go. And the voice completely changes. A new Warner Brothers catalog.
Yep.
Oh, God.
It's like, whoa, what happened? I know he's dead, but how does this happen? How can this be? Bear is driving. So, yeah, I mean, we've talked about Batman before.
It's been covered so much.
It's been covered so much, and it's just one of those movies that I think we like it because it set the stage. But is it true? Has it truly aged well?
Not as well as you think.
No. So, all right, coming up, one we never talk about. Yay!
Well, you talk about it all the time.
I've talked about it once in like the last 10 years.
I've seen it once.
All the okay. Opening night.
It's like every emo girl's favorite movie.
Yes, and this emo girl saw it on opening night. So, 1990s Edward Scissorhands.
You don't have to hide from me. I'm Peg Boggs. I'm your local Avon representative, and I'm as harmless as cherry. Oh, my. I can see that I've disturbed you. How stupid of me. I'll just be going now.
Don't go.
What happened to you?
I'm not finished.
Oh! Put those down. Don't come any closer. Just, please. Those are your hands?
Have you seen...
Nope.
No?
I've seen it once.
I'm the only... Oh, you've seen it once. I've seen it like 15 times.
I was forced into it.
You're on a date.
Yes.
Okay, alright, good.
Hey,
So
it paid off later in the night, but hey. Anyway.
Who is the emo girl?
I'm not telling you.
You won't know her. We will. Oh, dare. Alright, so...
Moving on.
Alright, moving on. This is a beautiful movie. This is Burton working with characters that only Tim Burton could create. You know, like that misfit that's just not quite right. In this case, it's Johnny Depp with giant garden shears for fingers.
Right.
And when you take that dark gothic element of it, like the castle on the hill, which by the way is overlooking this quaint, very uniform 50s-esque suburb, you know, this community, this suburb.
You know what? This thought just came to my head. Tim Burton's aesthetic is like a mix of... Well, he takes like 50s kit, you know, the John Waters 50s kitsch.
Yeah.
And runs it through a Hellraiser blender.
Pretty much.
I was going to go with 1930s Dracula, but...
You know what? Actually, I think 1930s Dracula may be a closer fit. It is...
I mean, it's sort of like a dystopian mirror of 1950s kitsch.
Yeah. It's all the happy stuff with just a little bit of vinegar thrown into it.
A little, yeah. It's a little salty.
This is a good, like, unofficial Christmas movie. Because the climax takes place at Christmas.
That's true, yeah.
Kind of like It's a Wonderful Life. And that's considered a Christmas movie. And
Anthony Michael Hall dies horribly.
Yes, exactly. Which, thanks a lot, Mike. Spoilers, because you haven't seen it. But you know that happened.
Yeah.
All right.
You didn't tell me. I knew that.
Okay. That's true. Yeah, it's...
And Johnny Depp is in a lot of makeup.
Johnny Depp is an incredible amount of makeup.
Weird
Winona Ryder is kind of riding out the wave of that. She's still on her way up. This hasn't been like the caught shoplifting yet.
This is when Johnny Depp was really kind of... This is kind of the movie that propelled him into being a
movie star, yeah.
A first-tier movie star.
He had one starring role before that. I'm not counting Platoon. No, it was
Nightmare on Elm Street.
No, Crybaby. He appeared in movies before, but he was never the principal.
His source of fame was 21 Jump Street.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then this kind of propelled him into like...
He was in Platoon, he was in Nightmare on Elm Street, but yeah, Crybaby...
Yeah, it was a small role in Nightmare on Elm Street.
You're right.
With the giant geyser of blood.
Right.
Yeah, but the credit sequence says, and introducing Johnny Depp.
Right. Whereas Crybaby, which is a John Waters film, was his kind of like
coming out
party for movies, and then this got net him a Golden Globe nomination, and he's heartbreaking in it. He really is. It's such a tragic character, and he just wants so desperate just to be happy. And it's funny these small little facial tics that he has when just little things delight him.
Yes.
And it's really kind of cool. And then there's that great scene where he raises the money. He's trying to get a salon so he can do people's hair. And then there's that horny housewife neighbor that tries to seduce him. And he's just no clue what to do at all.
Right, because he's basically a Frankenstein figure.
Yeah, absolutely he's a Frankenstein figure. But it was also like Tim Burton's dream to work with Vincent Price.
Oh, that's right.
And he was lucky enough to get Vincent Price in that movie as the creator, who was doing, like, you know, limericks and stuff like that with him. And now, Edward, some poetry. But I just, this is one, I think, this is the perfect pairing of Burton and Elfman. Because the score is so much a character in this movie.
Yeah, well, you know, if you've seen the video, you know my perfect pairing was the last movie we got. Well, no, 2 movies ago.
Oh yeah, Beetlejuice. Yeah. This one.
Yeah, you know, I have to go with Mike. Elfman, Beetlejuice is as Elfman gets.
You're right, exactly. But there's a scene, the ice dance scene in Edward Scissorhands with that music. It doesn't work any other way. It really just, it's very snow globe-y in terms of the way that the music sounds. And just Edward, like, doing an ice sculpture with his things, and just, it's blowing snow into this California suburb that's never seen snow before. And, you know, Winona Ryder's character is dancing in it. It's just, it's a beautiful scene.
Yeah.
So for God's sakes, you two, get on that now. I think it might be on Netflix. God damn it. 1992. Batman Returns.
This is my Christmas movie.
I just love a big, strong man who's not afraid to show it with someone half his size. Be gentle, it's my first time. Thanks, You make it so easy, don't you? Always waiting for some bad man to save you. I am Catwoman. Hear me roar.
I love this movie.
I don't disagree. This is a great movie.
I owned it on VHS and now I own it on DVD, I think.
I jumped in. This was another one I jumped for video when it came out. Because, again, price to own. I just fucking love this movie.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, Mike has, believe it or not, Mike has never seen Batman Returns.
You've not watched Batman Returns?
No.
Oh my god, viewing party.
God.
Yeah,
because I didn't see Batman until I saw they showed it on Channel 56, I think.
Right, exactly. This was during the stage where you weren't allowed to go to movies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that could explain a lot. I know I've got a spare copy I could probably give you, or I could just loan you my double disc copy that I have in the Batman box set.
Well, I'm still
which is really the only way that I watch that I own a copy of Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
You know, that mea culpa never really amounted to much.
No, you don't admit that in public.
Right, but Batman Returns. First of all, I think, and I know people will disagree with this. I have had arguments with Steve about this because he can't stand this one.
Why?
A lot of it has to do.
Oh, then again, he likes the Transformers.
Well, yeah, I know. No, a lot of it just has to do, I think,
do you
more
like
with
French fries.
Oh, I like onion rings. Okay,
but he, I think it's primarily because this is just not his brand of vodka, and I'm fine with that. Batman movies are subjective. I know people who love Batman Forever. You're wrong.
Yeah,
but I know people who love Batman
Your
Forever.
opinion is wrong.
I think Danny DeVito's Penguin is much more divisive than
I agree with that. I liked what they did.
Yep.
Yes, it's divisive. It's divisive, but divisive in a good way. I think if that makes sense.
I will whip this dead horse till the day I die about the way they portrayed the Penguin in this movie. In 1992, you couldn't have done the original. You couldn't have just done a fat guy in a tuxedo.
No.
It had to have something there. And I think that Tim Burton, he looks like a Tim Burton sketch.
Yeah.
He just looks like the odd fish boy. with the with the flipper hands and just like the huge nose and all that. And I just feel that for that aesthetic at that time, it had to be that.
And the thing is, it worked, and it set the basis for the way the character was portrayed, not just in this movie, but in all DC media. Well, if you play the Arkham games, the Penguin in the Arkham games he's
more of an animal. He's still human, but he's more of a bestial human.
Yeah.
He's got the weird nose, but he's primarily. I mean, honestly, the best kind of mingling of the Burton aesthetic and the classic comic aesthetic is the Batman the Animated Series.
Oh yeah,
because there he is kind of that bestial.
The animated
human.
Series.
He's still Caucasian, but he's got 3 fingers, so it's. No, the interesting thing about this movie is that it caused a lot of controversy because PG-13 superhero movie that was so scary, parents were, like, I can't believe I took my kid to see this PG-13 movie. They pulled the McDonald's toy line, and they had a redo. They not so much redo, but they never did a Mattel. Was it Kenner or Mattel? I don't remember who
probably Mattel.
I don't remember the toy manufacturer. That made them. They never actually made the Batman Returns version of Penguin for the action figures. It was closer to the animated series Penguin.
Yeah.
So because of that, they just kind of like lost their nerve with the toys. Meanwhile, I saw a thing today. Someone brought up a good point that this was the same era where they were making child-friendly toys for hard R movies.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, like Terminator and RoboCop had a toy line.
Clash of the Titans too.
No.
Well, no.
Clash of the Titans was PG, just PG, early '80s PG with boobs.
Yeah.
Yes. This movie, though, I mean, first of all, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yes.
Michelle Pfeiffer dominates this movie, and in more than the dominatrix way that she is dressed. I see what I did there.
Yeah.
I see it.
She's so good.
Yeah.
She's so good in this.
She adds a lot more layers than I think even the comics had ever given her.
Oh god.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It's primarily thanks to her that the comics version got so much more layered and complex and became now it's currently the Mrs. Wayne.
Right.
No.
They never went through?
Nope. She backed out at the last minute.
Yeah, one of the aborted comic book marriages of the year.
One of.
That sucks. I've always liked those.
There was a whole bunch.
Yeah. But there's that great, she and Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Keaton had great chemistry together.
Surprisingly enough, yes. I was shocked by how good they were together.
Considering the level of camp that this script had to include in it, just that scene on the rooftop.
Oh, and he rips off the rips off the cowl.
That was kind of funny too, because I'm like, hey, wait a second, what are the black marks under his eyes?
But put that aside, though, on an emotional level, it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, the scene on top of the roof with the mistletoe, mistletoe scene, and then when they come back to it.
Yeah, and then they're the only 2 people at the masquerade ball not wearing masks.
Right.
Well, because they wear all the other
exactly
time. Right, exactly.
That's the point.
I mean, Michael Keaton is more fun in this movie.
Yeah,
he's lighter.
Yeah,
he's part of that could just be too. It's the second movie. He's worked his way into the character. In context of his storyline, he's avenged his parents' murder.
Yep.
We'll never forgive Sam Hamm for.
In a way. I mean, Batman's kind of a secondary character in this movie.
He's always been a secondary character in these movies. There's not one movie, with maybe the exception of Batman Begins, where he is the primary character in the movie.
True.
He is the foil for the wacky villains.
Right, exactly. I mean, when you think about it, with that original 4 series, there's only 2 where the actor playing Batman got top billing. So 50% of them. Because he didn't get top billing.
Neither one is Michael Keaton. Neither one is Michael Keaton.
No, actually it was. Michael Keaton in Batman Returns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because after all the controversy when he got casted as Batman.
Exactly.
They saw how good he did as Batman.
Well, because Jack Nicholson was also the larger star.
Right.
Yeah.
He got the larger paycheck. He's a lot lighter in this. There's a lot better banter. I think that the chemistry between him and Michael Gough as Alfred is a lot better in this movie, too. There's that great bit about discretion when he crashes up the Batmobile.
Yeah.
He's like, you just can't take it in Joe's garage. Really? Discretion? Who let Vicky Vale into the Batcave?
Sitting there, hi, Vicky, how you doing?
Yeah. Well, they bring up Vicky Vale a lot in that, which is like, I really want to see what happened in between those two movies.
Yes.
First of all, to find out what happened to Harvey Dent. If he actually battled Two-Face in between those movies, also, what spurred him to change his costume.
Right.
Which, honestly, I love that costume. I love the battle armor look as opposed to, like, the musculature.
Yep.
The mask fit a lot better.
Yep.
It's like his head isn't swimming in the mask.
Right, exactly, yeah.
He still can't turn his neck, but... And the kill count, by the way, we talked about this earlier, the kill count in this movie is much higher. He literally shoves dynamite down a guy's pants and lets him explode.
But no, Batfleck shoots one guy in Batman v Superman. Everybody loses their shit.
Oh, yeah. Well,
It's a different era.
I know.
Yeah. That's true. He did shoot, yeah.
And but it was also,
Not that it excuses the rest of that fucking movie.
But Tim Burton is very much cartoon violence, kind of.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
It looks like a kind of bomb that you would get from Acme
Right,
in order
yeah.
order to try to hit the Roadrunner and end up blowing yourself up.
But unlike Batman Forever, they decided not to throw in the cartoony sound effects to go along with it.
Right.
Oh, God, yeah.
May I refer you to the Riddler blows up the Batcave.
Boing,
Yep.
boing.
Yeah, that was not good.
It wasn't good.
At all. I really, Mike, you're doing yourself a disservice by not having seen this yet. It is...
You have to watch it.
So good. And again, and I talked about this on our Danny Elfman video, which is available on YouTube. I think this is the better Batman score. There were so many more themes in this movie that resonate, that stick with you. A lot more strings, a lot of guitar. The crazy strings. Anytime somebody is suffering from any kind of mental breakdown.
I have to ask you, does Christopher Walken do a really good job in this movie?
All right, Christopher Walken is kind of a necessary evil in this movie. He's not an albatross around this movie. There are some scenes he is really good in.
Yeah.
There's that boardroom scene.
Yeah, the boardroom scene was when he comes back and he's talking. He comes back and finds her in the office.
Yep.
Stuff like.
Well,
I said he's very arch, but he's supposed to be.
Right. But there's that great bit, too, with him and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Where it's like, Blue Bloods tire easy. You think you got it in for 13 rounds with Muhammad Shrek?
But he's the other two villains you're supposed to have at least some sympathy for. You're not supposed to like him at all.
No. Even the Penguin. And the Penguin is just a grotesque monster. Danny DeVito had to play that character.
Oh, God, yeah.
At that time, he had to play that character. I think he played it to the hilt.
Yes.
And when you go back and you watch interviews with him, he loved it.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you going to do? I got to sit in a makeup chair for 12 hours, but after that, I just get to hang around and grab ass with women and eat lots of sushi.
Yep.
It's just... And oh my God, what a lech he is.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, gee, when he finally,
just the pussy I've been looking for.
Right. Oh, that one where he's like...
so problematic.
I'm going to show her my French flipper trick.
Well, that one where he's trying to put that button on that woman.
Oh God.
And they did this thing. I don't know if you guys noticed it. Next time you watch it, look at this. Almost every younger woman in that movie is shot the same way. Very rosy cheeked. Yeah. They almost are like indistinguishable. And I don't know if that was a choice with the cinematographer or not, but yeah, next time just look at all of the secondary women in there, just like the supporting people.
Will do.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Please indeed. Okay, so next up, this is back when he was actually putting out stuff on a regular basis. So after Batman Returns, producer credit, and one we'd be remiss not to talk about, because when we ran into our friend Julie from the One Little Spice podcast the other day and told her what we were doing, she immediately said The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Which I'm shocked he did not direct.
Well, he didn't direct it for two reasons. One, because he was doing Batman Returns at the time. Right. And two, he did not want to do the stop motion. He hated the process of stop motion.
But the thing is, it's become so ingrained with the Burton brand.
Well,
right.
He wrote,
absolutely.
He wrote the original poem. Mm-hmm. He devised the idea for it when he was doing Vincent.
When he was doing Vincent with Disney money.
Yeah, 1982 Vincent. And so this is his brainchild. He did everything but direct this.
Right.
What's this? What's this? There's something very wrong. What's this? There's people singing songs. What's this? The streets are lined with little creatures laughing. Everybody seems so happy. Have I possibly gone daffy? What is this? What's this? There's children throwing snowballs instead of throwing heads. They're busy building toys and absolutely no one's dead. There's frost in every window. Oh, I can't believe my eyes. And in my bones I feel the warmth that's coming from inside. Oh, look, what's this? The hanging mistletoe. They kiss? Why, that looks so unique.
I mean, it's interesting when you go back and you look at this and compare the animation style to this to one of the two he did direct, either Corpse Bride or Frankenweenie.
Yeah.
Then go back and look at it and go look at Coraline or James and the Giant Peach, which Henry Selick both directed.
Yeah.
And you can tell there's like this little thing,
like a second, like a first cousin,
right?
If you draw like a family tree of stop motion animated movies, you have like Nightmare Before Christmas and like cousin line going to
right, exactly,
to Coraline.
I mean, what makes this a Tim Burton movie, other than the look of the characters, just based on what you know about his animation style, is the voice cast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're almost all people he's worked with prior. Oh, yeah. Glenn Shaddix, Catherine O'Hara, Danny Elfman.
Yeah.
I think Chris Sarandon was one of the only few people he'd never worked with before.
Yeah.
Who else was in? Who else did voices for that? I know William Hickey had done some work with him. Yeah, you're looking it up because I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, this is why we've reviewed this movie. This is one of those you got to watch it every year.
Yeah.
But fortunately, you've got a wide berth to watch it in. You don't have to fit it in the month of October or the month of December. You can watch it anytime in between. Yeah.
Yep. Or you can go to Disneyland and go to the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when this kind of became a staple at Disney stores. You'd see like
this
the figures and
this I think is to blame for the Hot Topic obsession with Tim Burton movies.
Yeah.
There isn't a alternative girl that I know who the second you mention The Nightmare Before Christmas, it's like, oh, that's my favorite movie.
Yep.
Really?
I'm shocked. I am shocked.
I know.
I'm
By the
shocked
way,
and chagrined.
this is my shocked face. Oh, Katherine, you've been quiet about this one. What are your thoughts on The Nightmare Before Christmas?
I did enjoy it very, very much back in the day, but I'm kind of over it.
I'm one of those people that I don't.
I've been over it for a while.
I don't need to watch it every year. Last year actually was the first time, I think, since I picked it up on VHS that I skipped a viewing.
Yeah.
Diane loves it. And when we first started dating, that was a guaranteed get a smile out of her face if I got her something from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Right.
Nowadays, it's just like, whatever.
Paul Rubens.
Oh, that's right. Paul Rubens did a voice in there too.
He's one of the kids.
One of the trick-or-treaters.
And he has a small part in
Batman Returns.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, that was going back to Batman Returns. Yeah, Paul Rubens and oh God, I can't remember her name. Who played Simone in Pee-wee's Big Adventure with the Penguin's parents? You pulling that up?
Yeah, I got it right here.
Okay. Oh, why I can't remember her name.
Cast.
But that was really inspired casting, especially because Pee-wee had been through the troubles with the porno theater at that point.
Yeah.
So it was a nice little thing for him to come back.
Yeah, I feel like he kind of did that because he was sort of sick of being Pee-wee and wanted to do other stuff. So he's like, I have to do something really wild.
Yep.
Diane Salinger.
Diane Salinger. That's right. So, but yeah, The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's a fun movie. Again, I think you can get tired of it really easily if you live kind of in our bubble. You're going to get sick of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is one thing we've carried into our Disney countdown, though, is whenever we change, because we have a whiteboard with a countdown on it. So anytime we hit the 4, like the 4 in the 1 space, it's like there's only 155 days to Disney World. 154! which is a very obscure line from the movie, but we go with it anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
I actually, the first time I saw it was when I watched it for our review.
Yeah.
I'd seen it in the theaters.
Right.
But the first time I'd seen it since then was in...
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was a much smaller scale than I remembered. I thought I remembered it being a lot bigger in scope than it actually was.
I mean, I saw it when it came out in 93. And I remember just being wowed by it. Just absolutely blown away by the way it looked. We saw it again in the theater when they re-released it in 3D back in, 2006? 2007?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
And then we watched it again a year later because it wasn't a special event thing. You go see it locally. And Jim had never seen it in the theater, so we took him because his now ex-wife did not like it, so he had to escape for a night. But yeah, no, when you watch it again, especially on a larger screen with HD, it doesn't no favors.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the stop motion is impressive.
The stop motion is very impressive. It's just interesting the layer of traditional animation on top of that, though. Yeah. So, all right, next up. All right, how many of you guys have seen 94's Ed Wood?
I have.
Joe? Nope. Oh wow, okay, odd man out for this one.
Yeah, this was actually hitting my crux. After Batman Returns, I was on the Burton ride.
On the Burton bandwagon?
Bandwagon.
I saw this for the first time maybe 3-4 years ago.
I went to an advance preview of this. They gave us t-shirts, which I wish I still owned.
This movie is amazing.
Mr. Lugosi, why are you buying a car?
I'm planning on dying soon.
No.
Yes, I'm embarking on another bus and truck tour of Dracula. 12 cities in 10 days, if that's conceivable.
Do you know that I saw you perform Dracula in Poughkeepsie in 1938?
That was a terrible production. Renfield was a drunk.
I thought it was great. You know, you're much scarier in real life than you are in the movie.
Thank you.
I even waited outside to get your autograph, but you never came out.
Well, I apologize. When I play Dracula, I put myself into a trance. It takes me much time to re-emerge.
Before I saw this, I did see Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Oh, you did?
I have a copy on VHS that my mother gave me.
I saw this movie. I saw Plan 9 after this movie. Actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I knew of Ed Wood because there was this movie that came out in the early 80s called It Came From Hollywood.
Yeah.
And they have a whole section dedicated to Ed Wood. And they talked about Plan 9 from Outer Space. They talked about Glenn or Glenda. And I'm like, oh, this is intriguing. And if Tim Burton's going to direct anybody's biopic, it was Edward D. Wood Jr.
Yeah.
There is so many great things about this movie. This movie is a masterpiece.
Well, I mean, how many Oscars did
it won? 2 Oscars. One for Martin Landau, Best Supporting Actor, and one for his makeup.
Yeah.
This movie is so good, and it is. It's interesting. This is actually the first movie that he did without Danny Elfman.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the reason why. I don't know if it was a falling out or a...
I don't think it was a falling out because
they might have he also may have been busy doing something else.
Probably, yeah.
But, oh man, this movie is so much fun to watch.
Yeah, it's been so long since I've seen it, but yeah, it was great, good fun.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny Depp, again, just inhabits these characters. He's not just... It makes me feel bad kind of talking positively about him because he is kind of such a piece of shit.
He's a douchebag.
But, when he does good work, it's like, oh, I've got to stand up and applaud that. You're still an awful person. I'm not condoning any of this.
I still love Kevin Spacey on Usual Suspects.
That's true. God damn it.
He's a bastard.
Oh, God damn it. Yeah, it's tough now.
It is. It's tough.
It's tough to be subjective. But he's so good in this. I mean...
He is.
You know what I loved in this movie was Jeffrey Jones as Criswell.
Speaking of which...
Yeah, I know. Another one, yeah. Criswell is he's so good. He's just like, I predict, and he just put his finger up, and people would believe what he says because he wears a tuxedo when he's on television.
What I love most about this film is the fact that, they're showing, Ed Wood that he's an incompetent director, but he believes in everything he's doing. This is not making fun of Ed Wood. This is showing Ed Wood how Ed Wood believes himself to be.
Right.
Yeah. They show exactly what he did, and they show him owning it and loving it and being so happy about it.
Right. And the fact that it really seemed like he was doing it for his friends.
Yeah.
It's almost like they were he wanted to keep them busy because these guys all worked in the industry, but they were all not good at it.
Yeah.
So, the fact that he was keeping Bela Lugosi's career somewhat afloat.
And keeping him full of
morphine, yeah. No, actually, he wasn't giving him morphine at all. He was just being subjected to the withdrawals when Bella was withdrawing from it. But, I mean, there's so many just fun people in there. I mean, George the Animal Steel as Tor Johnson.
Oh, God.
And, hey, Lisa Marie is Vampira.
Yes, this introduced his girlfriend at the time, Lisa Marie, as Vampira. Who is... She's kind of a weak link in this movie, but she's still kind of okay. She fit the look of the role better.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But she's still, her line delivery is very, very still. Very stilted.
I wonder how she got the role in this movie.
I have no idea.
Perhaps she was boning the director.
Maybe. Yeah, it's so much fun. And there's that great bit, too, where he has a talk with Orson Welles, played by Vincent D'Onofrio, in the bar.
And voiced by Maurice LaMarche, of course.
Right.
Oh, God.
And he goes back in to, he's going to make this movie. And it's such triumphant... It's such triumphant music that he's playing, and he's calling it out on the bullhorn, and he's looking up, and there's shots of just bad special effects going on. And all of this for Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Oh yeah, since I'd seen Plan 9 from Outer Space, the whole sequence, the montage where they show them filming Plan 9, I'm like, I remember that part, I remember that part, I remember that part.
Who doesn't get enough credit in this movie is Bill Murray.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh God, there's that great bit where he's sitting there. Now keep in mind, Plan 9 from Outer Space was funded by a church group.
A Baptist church.
Church group, and he's like, so one of the Baptist ministers is there filming the entire time, and Bill Murray is incredibly gay in this movie, and he's sitting at the makeup table. He's like, I think I need something otherworldly. How about Cat's Eyes?
My favorite scene with Bill Murray, though, is when he has to be baptized.
Oh, now I gotta see this.
Oh yeah. So
the entire cast has to be
lowered
baptized.
in to be baptized, and he starts holding his nose, and then he just loses his balance. Joe,
I gotta see this.
Oh my God, this movie. I mean, it came out a year of a lot of big Oscar frontrunners, so I think this one might have just marginally gotten squeezed out for some odd reason.
Yeah.
This is honestly the movie that Tim Burton should have started seeing Oscar nominations for.
Oh, absolutely.
And it didn't happen.
Yeah.
It's interesting where he does see them, though, which we'll get into in a little bit. So, moving on. So, after the triumph of Ed Wood comes one of Tim Burton's bigger disappointments, 1996's Mars Attacks.
I think this movie's hilarious.
I'm with Katherine on this one. I saw this in the movie theater. I laughed my ass off.
I laughed so hard. And also, at the time, 96, I was driving a bus. That was exactly like that bus. I know exactly. I was like, I know that bus. That's one of our older buses. But it was so hilarious.
It's one of those movies. Well, first of all, the timing couldn't have been worse for it to come out right after Independence Day.
Right.
Right, yeah.
Secondly, it's based on a 1950s and 60s Topps card series. Which, if you know those cards, this movie is insanely accurate to it.
Yes. But it's so much fun.
It's so much fun. I don't think people got it.
For many years, I've been refining a translating computer. The results are not perfect. But this may answer some of your questions.
All green of skin. 800 centuries ago, their bodily fluids include the birth of half-breeds.
How many centuries did he say?
Fundamental truth
800,
is
sir.
Self-determination of the cosmos. For dark is the swathe that mows like a harvest.
What the hell does that mean?
I just don't think that the audiences that this was intended for got the memo.
It was way above their heads, their understanding.
Which is crazy for a camp sci-fi movie like this.
And you'd figure that it was so obvious that it was a
campy
parody of 1950s B movies.
Right, but here's the issue,
Drive-in B movies.
Right, but again, let's just go back to what happened earlier that summer. We watched alien ships blow up the White House, destroy New York, and Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum save the day.
Right.
So that's the issue. Had it come out before that,
maybe.
I think the narrative would be different.
Yeah, the timing might have been off, but I was ready for what I got, and I was so happy with it.
I thought it was so funny.
Pierce Brosnan is hilarious.
Yeah. The cast of thousands in this movie.
Yeah. Martin Short. We call this the Kennedy bedroom.
It's great they had him be like the total like sleazebag.
Yes.
Jack Black is
oh my
in
God,
this.
That's right.
Yeah, Jack Black is like the lazy fat army guy.
Yep.
Oh, was that him?
That was him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Where, he sees the aliens are attacking, and it's finally his chance to be here. He grabs his gun, he's like, freeze! And the clip falls right out of it.
Yeah, it's like, your brother, yeah, he's the brother the family's all proud of because he joined the military, and he's there, like, setting up road barriers.
Right.
With his stomach hanging out.
With his stomach and his ass hanging out.
Yeah.
Have you seen this one?
I saw this one in theaters.
Yeah, I did too. Oh man.
I saw it in theaters. When I realized my husband hadn't seen it yet, I was like, okay, so we're already this.
I got this as a free Flickster download, like an ultraviolet download. It's like, sign up and you get 15 free movies, and this was one of them. I haven't watched this in forever, though, but, I mean, the aliens, just the craziness of all the shit that they were doing, like where they're bowling down Easter Island, and...
Yes.
I didn't enjoy this movie nearly as much as you guys did.
No?
I did not like this movie.
Oh, sorry.
This movie, the gratuitous violence was way too over the top for me.
Part of that, though, is based on the cards. If you look at the Topps cards, they are doing just crazy experiments with people, and...
I saw what they were trying to go for, but it was just... global genocide and putting Sarah Jessica Parker's head onto a dog did not do it for me.
Think about the dog's head on her body!
Yeah, no.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you might not have been the right age for that movie at the time.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I'm doing the math right now, Mike, so I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, if you saw it in theaters, yeah, you were... That was,
I was 18.
Yeah. That wasn't...
Yeah, I mean, that was...
This is,
mid-20s, so...
Yeah. And we're not trying to belittle your...
No.
But it's one of those movies that there is an audience for it, and,
I was just
not the three of us are that audience.
Yeah, I was not that audience.
Yeah, it's just... And like I said before, I'm a sucker for a theremin, so that score... Oh, there's so much fun stuff in this movie. Rod Steiger, by the way.
That's right. Yeah.
Before the movie came out, again, when I was at Suncoast, one of my assistants, he would just be like, annihilate, kill.
Sometimes we'll just be like,
There is an urban legend that one of the audio tracks on the original DVD actually was in Martian. So you could I don't know if that's true or not. I'd heard that. I think maybe it was either the DVD or the Laserdisc. But it's like you could change the audio track and it would just be like everyone talking.
That would get old fast.
Yeah. So I think here's a good time because I know where in Tim Burton's career we're at. We need to have a little discussion about Superman Lives.
What happened?
Yeah, which is the part. I mean, if you've never seen it, by all means, check out the documentary made by the late great John Schnepp.
Yeah.
What the Death of Superman Lives? What happened? It is fantastic, and it gives a really detailed look
by Kevin Smith.
Yeah, it gives a detailed look about the creation process and how this movie just fell apart.
Yeah.
We put the rights together. Kevin Smith came in with a really great take.
I'm gonna write Superman. This is up.
Tim came in shortly thereafter.
I always felt like I was an alien, so I think a lot of people do.
And someone who is wanting to fit in, wants to connect, and at the same time feels this enormous burden to protect.
Thematically, the big thing for Tim was that Superman was an alien.
We wanted to do something that we hadn't seen before without it being ridiculous.
I think that the regenerative suit would have been like something no one's ever seen before. I'll never attempt again.
Now when you think about it, if somebody was like, would you like to see a Nick Cage Superman movie? I'd be like, and yes.
This was... It's interesting because the documentary, I think, gives you something to feel upset that you didn't get.
Yes.
For the first time ever, because up until that point, it was a joke.
Yeah.
Right, because when everybody... I remember at the time, there was like... You heard the rumors of Nick Cage
and
starring as Superman. You're like, that's stupid.
Oh, yeah. Well, and Nicolas Cage at that time had just won an Oscar for Leaving Las Vegas. So it's not... He wasn't like the Nicolas Cage, yes, is there a paycheck involved Cage?
No, but even at that time, it's like, you're thinking Nicolas, it didn't... The look wasn't...
wrong build.
It wasn't the... He didn't have the look.
And that single shot got out that was... Not flattering to anyone.
With the Speedo.
Yeah.
Oh, it looked weird.
It wasn't a trunk. It was a Speedo.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a weird looking shot. But when you actually watch that documentary and you see the... they actually were filming him in the suit itself.
Right. Yeah.
And it looked better.
Yeah.
It was bad lighting on the suit. He looked high in the still photo. It's like they just got him. Like everyone's had a picture where you're like mid blink.
Right. Yeah. The picture was not flattering.
No.
Right.
The documentary went a long way to showing.
Yeah.
This could have been good.
It showed that whole from where that picture was taken. It showed that in motion, and you could see it. It actually could have worked.
It could have had potential. I think honestly. The stumbling block with that could have very well been Kevin Smith's script. I read an early draft of that script, and it's very view-askewy.
Though he also had some odd requirements. Like, who forced him to have that giant spider? Was it?
Oh, it was John Peters.
John Peters. Yeah.
John Peters required the giant spider because he saw something similar in a movie once, and then it ended up in Wild Wild West.
Worked out great there, didn't it?
Yeah, but I guess Kevin Smith and Tim Burton don't get along all that well because of this.
Yeah.
Oh, I believe it.
Which makes sense now.
Yeah, and he ended up just chucking that entire script.
Right. I mean, Kevin Smith's second career came from making fun of this movie.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think, honestly, it could have been good. It would be interesting now to see what Tim Burton would bring to a superhero movie in the modern era.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd want him to take like an actual known property, but maybe like one like more obscure, like Invincible or
either that
Moon Knight.
Either that or come up with his own property.
Moon Knight would be interesting.
No, you know what?
Moon Knight would be actually good. Yeah,
either that or he comes up with his own superhero property.
Yeah,
right.
Something that would be cool.
Burton superhero,
right? Which in this day and age, that would be a really hard sell.
Something like The Incredibles.
Okay.
He could pull off The Incredibles, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Live action Incredibles directed by Tim Burton.
Not specifically Incredibles, but something along those lines.
That 50s kind of aesthetic kitsch that he likes he could really pull off.
If you were to do like a live action New Frontiers.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't Ava doing... No, she's doing New Gods. Sorry.
Yeah, she's doing New Gods, yeah. No, New Frontiers is the 1950s DC.
Oh, yes, I remember that, yeah. That was...
Yeah. All right, so... Back on track here, 1999 gave us Sleepy Hollow, which I think a lot of people, no pun intended, sleep on.
Interesting. What is it? The wound was cauterized in the very instant. As though the blade itself were red hot. And yet, no blistering, no scorched flesh.
The devil's fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was towards the end of my love of Burton. Was I went and saw that and I was like,
I enjoyed this a lot.
I saw it once and for me it was kind of forgettable.
Yeah, like I like Christina Ricci. Even at that point, I was kind of getting over Depp, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I've seen it. I might have seen like a TV version, but maybe I just kind of saw it out of the corner of my eye.
This is when you need to see like full gore and everything.
Hey, Christopher Walken's back.
Yeah, Christopher Walken at the end. Hello.
Let me take your head.
It's honestly this movie is built on really like just campy performances. Miranda Richardson who is the villain, who ends up being the villain. Sorry, spoiler alert.
Oh,
in this,
well, now I don't need to see it.
So campy.
I seem to remember the hype around it was it's like Edward Scissorhands and Wednesday Addams are a couple. Woo!
Yeah. But yeah, they made Ichabod Crane more of like a CSI style.
Yeah, an 1800s CSI.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they ended up doing that in the TV series that came out a few years ago.
Oh yeah,
actually,
I like that show.
I don't think I ever got around to that.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was like all people could talk about for like a month, and then people stopped talking about it, and then it went away.
Yeah,
actually, it ran for like 3 or 4 seasons.
4 seasons, yeah.
Really?
4
Wow.
seasons, yeah.
People stopped talking about it during that time, though.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It was interesting too to see a Tim Burton movie that wasn't aimed at the PG-13 audience. I mean, there are decapitations. Casper Van Dien gets like cleaved in half.
Okay, now I need to watch it.
Oh yeah.
What? Just because Casper Van Dien gets
Oh yeah.
Cleaved in half. You were the worst thing in Starship Troopers. Johnny Rico, my ass.
That says a lot.
I don't know if he's the worst thing.
Aryan Superman, Casper Van Dien.
Oh yeah, because Denise Richards is a gift from the acting.
Oh my god. Yeah. Fortunately, her
she's
scenes
a gift
were
of something.
short. Yeah. Fortunately, her scenes were short.
She's good at math.
And I thought Christmas only came once a year.
Oh, you stole my line! You stole my line! Damn it! About to say that, damn it!
Damn it!
Not fast enough, Mike!
I've been waiting for a chance to use that drop again.
Oh, sorry. So anyway, while we're getting the laughs going here, let's talk about 2001's Planet of the Apes.
Oh, good God,
This was the first time when really everybody...
This is
what happened.
Easily, and I'm looking at this list again, this is easily his worst movie.
Oh, without a doubt.
This is...
Take your stinking hands off me, you damn dirty human!
I was kind of okay with it. The twist was wrong, but like they put so much effort into the mannerisms and the makeup and
I did not need to see Helena Bonham Carter in ape makeup making out with Donnie
there was
one of the Wahlbergs.
There was one thing in this movie I didn't mind, and I thought Tim.
Oh,
Tim Rice.
No. Oh, Tim. Oh, Jesus.
Tim Roth.
Tim Roth, yeah.
Oh, I thought
he was very good.
He was a very good villain.
Yeah,
he was very good in this.
Excellent.
And I do want to point out one thing. If we're going to poo-poo this movie, fine, we can poo-poo this movie. James Cameron was originally attached to direct Planet of the Apes prior to this.
Oh, I wish he had.
No, you don't.
No,
because
I do.
It would have been Schwarzenegger era James Cameron with CG apes.
Exactly.
So just Schwarzenegger spouting off monkey puns the entire time.
Excuse me.
Have a banana. You're so appealing.
Yes, but if he'd done that, we probably would have never gotten Titanic. We would have never gotten Avatar.
Oh God, you're right. Shit.
I like Titanic, but yeah,
But we might have
could
gotten
do without
Spider-Man though too.
Charlton Heston was hilarious as that small part that he played in that movie.
Of course he was, because it was just
damn
like,
dirty humans.
Yeah.
Because what else would he say?
Right, exactly.
Actually paid.
Damn them all!
Actually paid money to see this in the theater.
I did too.
Yeah,
opening
me too.
weekend. This was an opening weekend movie.
I took that. Yeah, it was date night too.
And this was this movie made a lot of money.
Yeah, the end of the movie was terrible.
Yes, it was.
I'm still trying to figure out the end of the movie. It's like, how did this happen? What the... Did the monkey they send into space have anything to do with this?
Just stop. Just
All
stop.
right.
This is a...
It's gonna hurt.
It's a rabbit hole you don't want to go down.
It's gonna hurt your head.
Wasn't Paul Giamatti in this?
Yeah!
Yeah.
He was a great orangutan. What are you talking about? Not as good as Maurice in the new Planet of the Apes series, but he's good.
Oh.
No.
Sorry, whenever I hear Maurice, I always automatically just think of Maurice
Chevalier. So, all right, 2003 is kind of a return to form. It's Big Fish.
Armed with the foreknowledge of my own death, I knew the giant couldn't kill me. All the same, I preferred to keep my bones unbroken.
Why are you here?
So you can eat me. The town decided to send a human sacrifice, and I volunteered. My arms are a little stringy, but there's some good eating in my legs. I mean, I'd be tempted to eat them myself. So I guess, well, if you could just get it over with quick, because I'm not much for pain, really.
I heard good things and never saw it.
This is one of those movies. It's weird. It's a Tim Burton movie that doesn't completely feel like a Tim Burton movie, even though it totally feels like a Tim Burton movie. Firstly, because this should have been a Johnny Depp role, and it wasn't. It was Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor and Billy Crudup. I'm trying to remember his name. And, oh God, what's her name? Who, French actress who's in everything now. Yeah, her.
You gotta give me
She won an Oscar. I should know her name.
You really should.
Yeah, I really should.
I never saw this movie, so I have an excuse.
Yeah, I
Okay.
know.
No, we saw this one in the theater, and this is it's a lovely movie. It's very much. It feels like a Tim Burton movie because it's about an old man who tells tall tales that his son has had to live through his entire life.
Oh,
and
now
the
I
son
remember.
never, he felt like he never knew his dad.
Yeah.
And
then he finds out that all the stories were actually true.
Well, they were true to an extent.
Right.
Marion Cotillard.
Yeah, Marion Cotillard. Yeah, that's right. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot she was in The Dark Knight Rises.
Wow.
Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, it's her first film.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Credited under her birth name, Destiny Hope Cyrus.
Oh, okay. It's been a while since I've watched
She played
this
young
one.
Ruthie.
This is it's a beautiful movie. It's Albert Finney does a really good job as the older Ewan McGregor.
I did see this movie.
Yeah.
But it's
But you know what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
It's a Tim Burton movie that doesn't feel like a Tim Burton movie, but it's really a Tim Burton movie.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, the Tall Tale stuff is fantastic. I mean, I could have done without seeing Danny DeVito's ass, but it's also the second movie where he has to wear a large top hat. And not the last one he's going to do. Where he is a ringleader for a circus, but he's also a werewolf. Yes, rest on that for a minute. It's an underrated Burton movie. A lot of people feel like this is where he peaked. Because again, this could have been one of those movies that could have had like serious Oscar consideration.
Not plateaued.
Right.
Well, I don't know, because, Planet of the Apes and then back up to Big Fish.
Yeah.
And the next one's back down.
Yep. But, I think this is also, I can check my facts on this one. I think this is the only Tim Burton movie that Danny Elfman was nominated for an Oscar for. He didn't win, because he still hasn't won one yet. But, yeah, no, the score...
Yeah. Big Fish refused 4 Golden Globe nominations as well as an Academy Award nomination for Album Score.
Yep. It is a very nice movie. It's one of those movies, I guarantee, if you're watching it, you'll pick up your phone a few times to check, see what else is going on. All right. Let's see where we all stand on this one. 2005's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Mr. Wonka, I'm Violet Beauregard.
Oh. I don't care.
Well, you should care, because I'm the girl who's going to win the special prize at the end.
Well, you do seem confident, and confidence is key.
I'm Veruca Salt. It's very nice to meet you, sir.
I always thought a verruca was a type of wart you got on the bottom of your foot.
I don't got soup. I love the chocolate.
I can see that. So do I. I never expected to have so much in common.
All right, I'm the only one in this room who liked this movie.
I'm ambivalent about it.
You're ambivalent about it? Okay. Mike?
I don't hate it. It's just like...
I saw it the once because I felt I was supposed to, and I'm like, I'm done now.
Yeah, I thought it was... I think the best word for it is forgettable.
Now, not having read the original Roald Dahl book...
All right.
Which is closer to the book? This
one
is much closer to the book.
Okay. Yeah.
Roald Dahl hated
Yeah.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
Hated it. Now keep in mind, Roald Dahl was kind of a hateful old British guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, It's kind of like Ian Fleming.
or who's that beard with eyes that disowns all his comic books?
Oh, Alan Moore.
Yeah.
Yeah. He hated Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is so much closer. They do a good job of doing the little vignette style stories that Roald Dahl does with a lot of his stuff, where there's this main story, but then you get a little side chapter about something with the backstory, like how he got the Oompa Loompas.
Right.
There's that whole thing about the Indian palace made out of chocolate, and those are chapters in the book.
Okay.
And it follows it much closer. And obviously, the book didn't have dance breaks like this one did, which I thought were fine. I really enjoyed that. In fact, on our discussion, this is my number 3 Danny Elfman score for Tim Burton movies because it fits the aesthetic of this movie.
Okay.
I mean, I can understand people having issue with Johnny Depp kind of doing the Michael Jackson for this.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly, I think if he had gone with someone else as Willy Wonka,
right,
I think this movie probably would have been thought of much more highly. Because I think Johnny Depp is the weakest point of this movie.
Yeah, but you gotta remember Johnny Depp was riding the super high wave
of pirates.
Yeah. Right, Pirates already come out.
Yeah.
Catherine, what do you think about this one?
Eh.
I'm
kind of I was basically, even then I was getting sick of the caricatures that Depp always had to play.
Right.
And just it was the same thing. It was getting to be the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah, he played to a type.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw it once, and after that I was like, I'm fine with going back to the Gene Wilder.
Okay, here's the thing. I don't like that one either. I don't like the way.
I don't like the story. It's creepy.
Well, in hindsight, yes, it is creepy. I mean,
on any level, it's creepy.
Is it a theoretical factory that is quite honestly just a windowless van? Is it?
Yeah. Is it? Does he have a bunch of slaves? Yes.
Yes, exactly. Yes, he rescued them, but he doesn't pay them.
No.
Right.
He pays them in song and dance and watching little children get hurt.
And I'm assuming that they only eat chocolate.
That's amazing to me. Yes. It really feels like that's what they're doing.
Diabetes rate in that factory is through the roof.
But the smoke coming out of the stacks is not chocolate. It's bodies of Oompa Loompas.
It's insulin.
It's like, I know a lot of people hold the 70s movie in a higher regard, and I don't hold it at that at all. I'm not nostalgic about that movie one iota.
That's driven more by Gene Wilder.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
The nostalgia for Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder drives a not-so-great movie, whereas Johnny Depp, for you guys, drives, is not the driving force in an okay movie, or a meh movie.
Hashtag fuck Grandpa Joe.
Yeah, fuck you, Grandpa Joe.
He's an asshole. In both movies.
If you look at him logistically, yes, he is an asshole.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys not being vehemently anti. Well, Andy, get out of here right now. You have no right to like this movie.
It's a movie that happened.
I'm with Katherine with that. It's just Johnny Depp's portrayal of the character does nothing for me beyond just being a creepy,
right?
And I'm like
a creepy man child. Yeah. Whereas Gene Wilder, he was creepy, but he wasn't man child, which just added that extra level.
Right.
There's Christopher Walken, and isn't there?
No, Christopher Lee is in this one.
Oh, that's who it is.
As Willy Wonka's father, who was a dentist who wouldn't let him eat chocolate.
Count Dooku.
Yeah.
No wonder.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Released the same year, 2005, and the first time Tim Burton is nominated for an Oscar.
Never seen it.
Corpse Bride.
Scraps? Scraps! My dog Scraps! Oh, Scraps, what a good boy.
I knew you'd be happy to see him.
Who's my good boy? Sit. Sit, Scraps. Sit. Good boy, Scraps. Roll over. Roll over. Good boy, Scraps. Play dead. Sorry.
Saw it once.
Saw it in the theater. I own it on DVD. I very rarely watch it, though.
It's also, oddly enough, is his first directing...
which again,
stop motion.
Which again, is shocking to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you said, Katherine, did you say you've seen it? No? Okay.
It seems like his aesthetic would be perfect for animation.
Yeah, you think, because especially after Nightmare Before Christmas, you think, again, it's that Tim Burton look.
Yeah.
You think, like you said, it carried on to Coraline, James and the Giant Peach.
Right. But those weren't his.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. This one is very much plays like a lesser man's Nightmare Before Christmas. It's not a bad movie.
No.
It's just... Well, first of all, it's that inundation that Tim Burton is having sex with either Johnny Depp or Helena Bonham Carter.
Or both at
the same time, exactly. It's the epitome of... These two are going to be in your movies forever, ever.
Yeah, well, wait till we get to the next movie.
Yep.
Yeah, I was not in my goth phase anymore at this point.
Right. The Tim Burton aspect of this sold this for me to go see it. Autumn and I saw this in the movie theater.
Hold on. We're missing the big point here. You had a goth phase?
Yeah.
Yeah.
not like full dressing up all the time during the day, but I went to goth clubs and
yeah.
I had a goth best friend and stuff like that.
Mike is shocked.
Right, exactly. Mike has a goth face too. It's what you do.
Yeah, it's...
No,
you didn't. But...
I never went through a goth phase.
No, you went to military school. You weren't allowed to.
Yeah, in 2005 I graduated from grad school, so I was a little busy.
Yeah.
I was holding down a full-time job and...
That's true.
College and...
I was just too busy making my dreams come true, doing the same thing I'm doing now. God, somebody stop me from slitting my wrists. All right.
You don't want to end up a civil servant in hell.
No, you true.
Because if you do, I'm going to make fun of your ass.
Exactly. All right. Up next, 2007, Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
I have sailed the world, beheld its wonders, from the Dardanelles to the mountains of Peru, but there's no place like London.
No, there's no place like London. Mr. Todd? You are young. Life has been kind to you. You will learn.
Again, having sex with Johnny Depp and or Helena Bonham Carter at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. By this point, the Johnny Depp weirdness had just consumed me. I'm like,
all right.
Especially because after which parts of the Caribbean movie came out in 2005? The really bad one.
No. All right. So 2006. Both of them came. No, one came out in 2006. One came out in summer 2007. So Dead Man's Chest was 2006. That's the second one.
Okay.
The really bad one was the one after that.
Okay.
Really bad in some people's opinion.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Not
but
as bad as number 4, though.
No.
Oh, no, exactly. But back to Sweeney Todd.
Yes.
Katherine, have you seen this one?
Yes, I have seen this one. I enjoy it. It's fun listening to my husband rant about, who's singing and who's not, and they can't sing, but,
right.
Sacha Baron Cohen is great.
Right, yes. I love Sweeney Todd. I've always loved Sweeney Todd. We've seen it live several times.
Yeah, I'd never seen it, but I knew I would enjoy the whole story.
We went to the Kennedy Center to see this with Brian Stokes Mitchell and Christine Baranski, and it was fantastic. And then we found out that Tim Burton was going to be directing this with Johnny Depp, Kelsey Priest, and Helena Bonham Carter, and we're all like, oh, no. And then we heard that she had to audition for Stephen Sondheim himself. And he would give the thumbs up or down. This wasn't going to be I'm sleeping with the director, I automatically get the part. I still want to know what the hell he was thinking. The highs in this movie are very, very, very high. I think Johnny Depp is very good in this movie.
Yeah.
I think that Sacha Baron Cohen is very good in this movie. But the lows are oh so low. And unfortunately, it's Worst Pies in London is such a bad rendition. She's so airy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've heard the original Angela Lansbury.
Oh, okay.
Angela Lansbury is just, she's so full of life, even though this is just, she's serving up just bugs and grease, pretty much.
Yeah.
But she's so happy about it, whereas Helena Bonham Carter is doing it as if her Hot Topic franchise just closed. She's just doing this as a part-time job.
Who else did has done that role on Broadway?
Well, Angela Lansbury did it. Patti LuPone did it.
Patti LuPone, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. Don't remind me of the worst trip to New York we've ever had, where I got autumn tickets to go see Sweeney Todd, and this was back when they did the revival where the cast were playing the instruments on stage.
Okay.
Which was kind of cool. And Patti LuPone was actually playing a tuba.
Yeah.
So, like, by the sea, there's like a bit of a tuba solo that she would play. I bought autumn tickets to see this specifically because she'd never seen Patti LuPone live. We go the night before the worst blizzard of the year. Patti LuPone bagged that night, and we got her understudy. The worst understudy we've ever seen in our lives.
Really?
It was just a bad night that we woke up to a bad morning where it honestly looked like the aliens had wiped out half of New York. I've never seen the streets of New York so dead.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad. And then when this movie came out, I think the big thing, the big takeaway from this movie was they took away all the chorus parts. Like, there was originally going to be talk that the majority of the chorus was going to be done by ghosts, and that didn't end up happening, fortunately.
Wow.
But there's not a lot of chorus parts in this. God That's Good doesn't have a large chorus piece in it. Yes?
Well, you're saying that Helena Bonham Carter was one of those. She won an Evening Standard British Film Award for her portrayal, and she was nominated for a Golden Globe.
Some people liked her.
And Johnny Depp was nominated for Best Actor Oscar.
He was nominated for an Oscar for Best Actor.
And he won the Golden Globe for it.
Musical or comedy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because, yes, those need to be put together, apparently.
Yeah.
Yep, because usually musicals lend themselves toward the comedy end of the spectrum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pre the Sondheim era. But, yeah, it's like, if this is the only way you've ever gotten to see Sweeney Todd, it doesn't suck.
Yeah, I think this is a fine movie. I really like it. I mean, this is a Tim Burton. We're talking about Tim Burton. This is a movie that fits the Tim Burton aesthetic. It's dark. The skies are gray. Every once in a while, you get these little flourishes of color in it.
Yeah, post-industrial London.
Right.
Yeah.
He's honestly the only person who could have directed this movie as a musical.
Yeah.
I'd have to think about it, obviously.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to put Rob Marshall on this one.
Oh, no.
Right, okay.
Leave him with Mary Poppins Returns.
Right, exactly. He also did Into the Woods, by the way.
And he also did Chicago.
I know he did. So, the next one up, Tim Burton's highest grossing movie.
This one baffles me. I mean, I didn't mind the movie. Well, I kind of did.
2010's Alice in Wonderland. Now, I did ask our good friend Steve at ApeCod on Twitter about some Tim Burton movies. Here's his take on Alice.
Oh, boy.
Here we go.
I was working at Blockbuster at the time, and we, of course, had a number of regular stoner customers. Every fucking one of them loved that fucking movie, and they all had the same observation. It was way better than Avatar, man. Like, the 3D was kind of 3D you expect. You know what I mean?
What?
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That makes about as much sense as this fucking movie.
Yeah, this was
I
a
saw it
movie
once.
I saw the previews for it, and I was like, hell no!
What did that to you?
Banner or bandit?
The Bandersnatch. Well, I'd better have a look.
What are you doing?
It needs to be purified by someone with evaporating skills, or it will fester and putrefy.
I'd rather you didn't. I'll be fine as soon as I wake up.
At least let me bind it for you. What do you call yourself?
Alice,
The Alice?
there's been some debate about that.
I never get involved in politics.
I have never been so underwhelmed by something that when I first saw the trailers, I'm like, this looks like it could be really good.
Yeah, when I first saw the trailer, I was like, this is either going to be really, really amazing or going to be really, really
bad.
terrible.
Yes, this is either the best idea in the world or the worst idea in the world.
And
it kind of meets somewhere below the in-between.
I never was that confused. I'm like, this is terrible idea.
Which is kind of funny because it set off Disney's kick of remaking
of live-action remakes.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing about that, Joe, is that this is not actually a remake.
No, it's
this is a follow-up sequel to the animated.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. Alice is a little older and revisiting these characters.
I actually agree with you. It's like, it could have been really great or really terrible, and it's like, it's just like kind of floating somewhere in the middle. It's
middling. It's middling.
It's not good, and it's not.
Here are the positives. It looks great. The characters, a lot of the characters fit the Lewis Carroll design.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very well.
A lot of voice actors,
especially the Queen of Hearts.
Helena Bonham Carter looks like a Lewis Carroll drawing.
A lot of the voice actors I thought were fantastic. Like Alan Rickman as the worm, the caterpillar.
Oh yes,
was fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Alan Rickman is fantastic. You can stop there.
Yeah, exactly.
I did like the Cheshire Cat.
Okay, it was Stephen Wright. Stephen Fry.
Yeah.
It's Stephen Wright. Oh my god, that would have been a much different movie.
Yeah.
But the over-reliance on Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Again,
you're taking a character that appears, in the scale of the storytelling version of Alice, a one-scene character, and stretching. Two? Okay.
Disney. He appears during the trial.
Okay.
At the end.
But they stretch that character out to beyond the length of a sane person.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of sane person for Mad Hatter.
That's what I said, Matt.
No, you stretch him out to beyond the length of a sane person
He's
for
mad,
Mad Hatter.
so therefore, yes, that was his joke.
Gotcha. Sorry, I missed that. I apologize. Again, this movie grossed over $1 billion worldwide.
I don't get that.
Well, I think there are some people, like, I went to Disney World with a friend of mine, and she was obsessed with Alice in Wonderland. Absolutely loved, like, the books, the cartoon, the movie, everything. I'm sure she spent like...
Yeah,
she's paid $1 billion worldwide for this.
I just didn't think there was that many people that thought that highly of this movie.
This is one of those movies I don't know anybody who's an ardent supporter
Enough
now.
that it got its sequel.
Let's just be honest with that sequel. That sequel, because when you want to talk about going to the Disney parks during the time of a movie coming out, we were there right before Through the Looking Glass came out, and that movie, usually you can tell there's a big excitement for a movie because of the amount of merchandise in the parks.
Right,
for Disney
parks start pushing it.
Yeah.
This felt like a write-off. This just felt like, what have we done? I feel bad for the guy who directed that awesome 2011 Muppets movie because we saddled him with this.
Well, that's how I felt when I saw the trailers.
Right, exactly. It was just like, why is this the thing that I'm seeing right now? And I'm sure that there were ardent supporters of this movie, but not enough. Maybe it's like Avatar. It's like people were wowed by this movie when it came out and then just kind of like, all right, I'm over it. I was totally dippy over it. Now I'm done.
Yeah.
I was like, when I saw it in theaters. I'm like, it's pretty.
Yeah.
It looks pretty, yeah.
I actually didn't end up seeing this until it came out on DVD, back when we were renting Blu-rays from Netflix.
Yeah. I saw this
back when I get physical media from Netflix.
I saw this in theaters because I thought it would be good.
Yeah.
I
was very excited about this one, too, so it was... Imagine my disappointment.
Yeah.
And, yeah. All right, next up. Oh, God, talk about disappointment. 2012, Dark Shadows. Another Johnny Depp, Helena Bonham Carter.
By this time,
Eva Green is in this one.
This was the Johnny Depp fatigue was really starting to set in.
Yeah. And you could tell, too, the box office showed on this one.
Yeah, and that was...
What box office?
It did come out the week after the Avengers came out.
Are you stoned or something?
They tried stoning me, my dear. It did not work. When did they start allowing women of the night on estate grounds?
Carolyn.
Ah, yes. Uncanny, is it not? Worth every hour I spent posing. Forgive me. My name is Barnabas Collins.
Children! Get away from that man.
He says his name is Barnabas Collins. And I'm pretty sure he called me a hooker.
Based on some it was also based on some obscure 60s, 70s
A soap opera, British soap opera.
Yeah.
I watched the crap out of that
Right.
on Sci-Fi Channel.
It has-
And I saw the trailers and I went,
Yeah, Dark Shadows, the original Dark Shadows has a very loyal audience, and this was not a good movie
Yeah, it
to
was-
put forward to your loyal audience.
Yeah, and also Dark Shadows was goofy at the time. You know, there was the point where they closed the door and the set kind of wobbles and all
Right,
that kind
yeah.
of stuff. It was very cheesy. It was weird.
But
And
it had- but it had-
and I was like Johnny Depp, and I'm like, you're not Barnabas.
But it had,
Collins. You're terrible.
It had a niche audience,
And it had a very specific style, a very specific, kind of.
The
tone.
gray filter. The issue with this movie was it was shot through a gray filter, and it sucked the life out of the movie.
Yeah, movies that are based on niche properties, a lot of times they don't translate very well for general audience.
Right.
Now, I don't for 1 minute think that Tim Burton didn't go back and watch every single
I'm sure he
episode
did.
of this.
Oh, yeah.
And with the screenwriting team, made sure that they got the basic story stuff right, but
The story's not even that basic because the original series takes place in two time eras. There's
Right.
like the 1800s version and the modern version. And there's-
sometimes you shouldn't give something that works because it's so lo-fi to give them a hi-fi budget.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
Less is more
the
sometimes.
lesson. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Thank you. Less is more. Let's move on. However, this is interesting though because this is another one of those movies that had two of his paramours in it, just like with Planet of the Apes, where there was Lisa Marie and Helen Bonham Carter. Now it's Helena Bonham Carter and Eva Green.
Hey, look at what we've got there!
Ooh, look at drum.
Yeah. Oh, bye-bye, old Camaro. Hello, new convertible.
All right. So next up, same year again.
This was actually a pretty good movie.
Yes.
I enjoyed this one.
Frankenweenie.
Yeah.
Also stop
It was
motion
cute.
animation.
Yeah.
The first I think this is the first full-length stop motion animation film filmed in black and white.
Yeah, it's based on one of his old shorts, right?
Yes. It's a fun watch. You can usually get it on DVD copies of The Nightmare Before Christmas. Usually have this as a bonus.
Yeah.
Oh, the original movie.
Yeah.
The original Frankenweenie, the 20-minute long movie.
You should be a scientist, Victor.
Nobody likes scientists.
They like what science gives them, but not the questions, no. Not the questions that science asks.
Actually, I have a question.
That is why you are a scientist.
I was doing my experiment, my project, and the first time it worked great. But the next time it didn't. I mean, it sort of worked, but then it didn't. And I don't know why.
Then maybe you never really understood it the first time.
This is fun. It's not for kids.
No.
Oh my God, is it terrifying.
It is so...
Dude, the cat freaked the hell
Yeah.
out of me. I was like, what the hell is this? This is not what I expected when I saw this trailer.
Have you seen this one?
I have not seen it.
This is a fun movie. And again, just like with Corpse Bride, Tim Burton's been nominated for 2 Oscars in his entire career. Both of them for directing animated movies.
Yeah. Which is shocking to me.
Which is very shocking, yeah. This is a fun movie, though. It's cute.
It is.
It retains the heart of the original story and stretches it out to the point where it makes a good full-length movie.
Yeah, I think if he'd gone any further, it would have been too much. But
Yeah.
he hit it at the right spot.
It's just enough, and it's not... I mean, yes, there are some truly terrifying scenes in there, which still prevent me to this day to showing it to my kids.
Yeah.
But it's a very sweet story, and the character animation is just not... It's simple enough.
The relationship between the boy and that dog is heartwarming. It's
Absolutely.
beautiful.
All right, moving on. All right, has anybody seen 2014's Big Eyes?
No.
No? Okay, all I know is that it's got Amy Adams and Christoph Waltz.
$5,000. We made $5,000, and it wasn't even for one of you good ones.
Don't you mean one of your good ones?
No. All right, one of our good ones.
Oh, what about honesty?
The painting says keen. I'm keen, you're keen. From now on, we're one and the same.
All I know is it had early Oscar buzz, and then as soon as people saw it
petered out real quick.
Yeah, people saw the movie and they're like, oh, yeah, not Oscar
It was
buzz.
a lot of like, it's not bad.
It's not good.
Yeah. Again, it's based on a very obscure person who painted those large eyes. Yeah, it's a true story. And I mean, honestly, it's probably not all that bad considering Christoph Waltz is in it. He's pretty much awesome in everything.
Yeah.
All right.
I think when it came out, I actually heard like something on NPR about the true story of the whole thing.
Right, right. And there was this big, long court battle.
Yeah.
That she had to kind of prove she did them.
So she actually drew them in court.
Yes. Now the final, currently theatrically released movie that we're going to talk about here, 2016's Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children.
I'm a type of peculiar called an imbrine.
Yeah, you turn into a bird.
Well, I do, yes. But that's not very useful. An imbrine's main skill is the manipulation of time. We choose a safe place, a safe day, and create a loop.
What do you mean?
Well, a loop reserves the last 24 hours. Reset the loop, and the day is yours to live in again. Reset it daily, and you can stay there forever. Entirely safe from the outside world. Every imbrine commits herself to the creation and upkeep of a place like this. A home for peculiar children.
I have not seen this.
I wanted to see this one.
I have seen it.
I have too. I just watched it last week. What did you think?
Not as good as the book.
I've never read the book.
I didn't even know it was based on a book.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's based on
a
YA series.
Yeah, there's a YA series. It's based on like the first book, ish.
Yeah.
I listened to the first book on audio, and that was about it. And I was like, okay. And yeah, it makes sense because it does fall into his sort of like weird zone.
It's weird though. It doesn't feel like a Tim Burton movie till about a third of the way in.
Yeah, but
once he finally gets to the house,
right,
it starts to feel like a Tim Burton movie.
But that's what it should, because he's in the normal world until that point.
Right. But it was one of those movies, I was watching it, first of all, they could have easily shaved off about a good half hour of this movie. It was very long.
Yeah.
Is Eva Green in this movie?
She is.
Yes, she
yes.
is.
But
I know who she is. I remember looking her up. I was like, why does she look familiar? Why does she look familiar? Oh, she's from Penny Dreadful.
Yes. Yes, yes.
I just know her from being naked in the 300 sequel.
Right, and the Sin City sequel.
That too.
I don't believe she wore a top at all in that movie.
I don't believe she did either.
Well,
Objections?
That would imply
No.
that someone, that would imply that someone
Not
actually
here.
saw the Sin City sequel.
Yeah, I did. I'm an idiot.
It's the only time I ever thank my kid for buying a movie on TV.
Yep. It's well, she was also Vesper Lynd.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, in the greatest James Bond movie ever, I'll fight all of you.
It's in my top 3.
But Miss Peregrine, what's interesting about Miss Peregrine is it gets better as the movie goes on. It was one of those movies like, okay, this is kind of dull. Not feeling it. I'm putting my phone down now.
Samuel L. Jackson is the villain.
Samuel L. Jackson's excellent.
I've heard that.
He's campy as shit in this movie, but it's one of those movies that I can't believe it only got a PG-13 rating, because there are some truly terrifying special effects in this movie. I mean, there are people whose eyes are being sucked out of their head.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, there's some weird shit in the, and it's in the book too. The book is fucking weird.
Yeah, but it's such an interesting movie, because once it lands on the Burton button, it's a great movie. And this is like, it reminded me, we're coming full circle here, reminded me why I love Tim Burton movies, because it ended up becoming a return to form. It's like it started off like his later movies and turned into one of his older movies. I mean, again, I didn't read the book, so I have nothing to compare it to. But I was very entertained by this.
Yeah, it's not too far off from the book. There are some things, and I was like, okay, now that I've listened to the audiobook, I may as well. I'm like, oh, they made a movie of it. I should see it. And
yeah, I saw the trailers and I was like, hey, this looks pretty interesting. I might want to see this. And then like some of the early reviews came out and said, it's all right. And I was like,
it's weird. Like the story is weird,
right?
Yeah.
And this was a point at which everybody's jumping on we have to make a young adult series,
right?
Because Harry Potter was a money making machine. Hunger Games did really well, so people keep looking.
Right.
Maze Runner.
What if X-Men was a young adult series? Is essentially what it boils down to. And there's some characters that have very useful powers and some characters that have very useless powers.
Yep.
But I'm glad to show that they actually show what the twins do, which was truly terrifying. So, alright, there's one more movie on the list. It hasn't been released yet, so we can only go off of its trailer. Next year, in March. Is it March or February?
March?
I think it's February.
Hold on.
Either or. It's Dumbo.
Yeah.
Tim Burton is doing another Disney remake. It's amazing for a guy who left Disney under such a cloud when he was originally an animator, how much work he has done for Disney since.
Coming out March.
March, okay.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the trailer?
Yeah, March 29th, yeah. I thought the trailer was fantastic.
I mean, the trailer was fantastic. Whether that translates into a
good movie.
A good movie.
I mean, cast-wise, you've got a lot of his old stalwarts. You got Michael Keaton.
The thing
Michael
is,
Keaton, Danny DeVito, Eva Green.
The thing is, you from what you can see in the trailer, you really kind of have to separate yourself, divorce yourself from what you've seen in the animated movie, the original animated.
And it looks like they're doing that, and they might be poking fun a little bit. Like, there were no talking animals in this movie,
right?
But they dressed a mouse up in a ringleader outfit. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw a murder of racist crows. You know, just a bunch of crows flying, and one of them's wearing a hat. You know, just.
Well, I mean, when you know the original story of how Dumbo came to be,
right?
How Disney stretched that out, you know, from what was originally a small little booklet,
right,
into a feature animated film, and then you're looking at the trailers for this.
That barely clocks in over an hour, by the way.
Yeah, right. And then you're looking at the trailers for this, and you're like, you know, and I hate to say this, but it looks very emotionally manipulative.
Yeah.
Oh, the fact that the dad is missing an arm.
That.
Yeah.
Actually, no, but it's making all the obvious plays for your heartstrings, and it's like,
Oh, don't think they're not going to use Baby Mine in
Well, they've already used it in the trailer.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
But in the most stabby
Right.
way possible.
Right, and I'm sure it looks. Like I said, the trailer looks good, but
The one scene I'm most looking forward to, the one scene I know that Tim Burton is going to do the best out of any part of that movie, Pink Elephants on Parade.
Absolutely. I just think it would be interesting if they actually incorporate the song in it.
Yeah, I hope they do, but I'm dubious if they will, because I mean, something like the Lion King trailer, it pretty much puts Circle of Life front and center, and
right.
they've got Hans Zimmer, Tim Rice, and Elton John all come back, so you know it's going to be musical.
Right. This I don't think is a musical.
No.
This will be like Cinderella or Maleficent,
or even Jungle Book.
Even Jungle Book really shouldn't be considered musical, even though King Louis broke out into song for no good reason.
Yeah,
because Christopher Walken likes to sing and dance.
Okay.
I think they.
And who are we to say no?
Yeah, if I had to guess, I'd say they go the Jungle Book route, where it references the songs and might have bits of it, but it won't.
So the songs will be playing like background,
right?
Yeah, something like that.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So, well, I mean, I'm interested in seeing what it's going to be like. This will be the last Disney release prior to us going. So,
I'm getting the same feeling I had for Alice in Wonderland, where it's going to be either really, really good or not really great.
Well, I got to get past the uncanny. I got to remind myself the special effects probably have not been finished yet.
Yeah.
There is the uncanniest of valleys going on right now.
I'm
Speaking of which, based on what we've seen so far, which looks better in terms of that, Lion King or Dumbo?
Lion King, hands down. Lion King.
Favreau had that technology down pat.
But here's the other thing too. I wouldn't be one bit shocked if Disney dumped more money into Lion King, and they figure that if Dumbo does anything, Dumbo will do better. If Dumbo does better than Pete's Dragon, it's going to be considered a win.
That's true.
If it cracks 100 mil, it'll be considered a win.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know what it costs to make. Probably more than that. But we'll have to see. But I think, their eggs are in the Lion King basket right now.
Yeah. I mean, they probably haven't even released a budget for it.
2019 is going to be a huge
year.
year
They
for
don't have a
Disney.
budget out yet.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Avengers 4. Episode 9.
You've got 3 Disney live-action movies.
Lion King.
Captain Marvel.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
They're gonna own.
Is there another Marvel movie coming out?
Spider-Man, but that's Sony.
No. Oh, what about?
No, the Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh yeah.
Far From Home. That's right. Okay,
Yeah.
I knew there were
So
three
there are
Marvel
gonna be
movies
3
coming
Marvel
out.
movies.
No,
this year.
but yeah, Marvel, yeah, but that's Sony.
No, it's MCU.
I know, but Sony's going to is making that movie, not Disney. Spider-Man Far From Home is a Marvel movie. It's an MCU movie, but it's made by Sony.
Right, but it's still under the umbrella.
Yeah,
they're both going to make money on it.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was our discussion of Tim Burton. I hope we hope you enjoyed it. So anyway, our next show will be our Christmas episode. Yay, another Christmas show.
Yay.
This time, we're going to do something a little different than we usually do. We are going to be going back and looking at old Sears wish books. Joe, you had mentioned Montgomery Ward catalogs, and anything else that we can think of from our youth in terms of catalog Santa shopping.
Yep. The one your mom made you mark up.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Circle.
Earleaf.
Yep.
I'm going to have this page.
Oh, if only I had those little Post-its with like little arrows on them. Color-coded.
Okay, this color means really important. This color means I really want it. This color means I'd like to have it.
Right. So it's going to be a fun trip down memory lane for us as we explore late 70s, early 80s fashions and action figures, video games.
Ugh.
Oh, and science kits, too, because there's a shitload of those in the 78 catalog that I looked at today. Oh, science.
No, please. 78. Science!
Science! So anyway, if you want to get in on this goodness, you can email us at geeksaladradio@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast or Twitter at Geek Salad Radio. You can also check out our entire archive at geeksalad.podbean.com or via the Podbean app. You can also check us out wherever good podcasts are sold. iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, or Google Music. Have they fixed the Google Music thing yet, Mike?
I don't know. It's been really kind of spotty.
I haven't. I've been mainly doing anything through either Spotify or Stitcher lately.
Yeah.
So, work gave me an iPhone. I haven't subscribed to our thing yet because I don't use that iPhone. Because I'm an iPhone master now.
Yeah.
I know. Oh, the sweet, sweet treacly irony. So, anyway, until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
I'm Katherine.
Go forth and be nerdful. Talk to you later.
How do you do it? How do you get all your friends to get baptized just so you can make a monster movie?
It's not a monster movie. It's a supernatural thriller.